Okay, wired up here. No place to go. Let me just take this off and do up my shirt here. Let me look a little more professional. There, put the mic back on. Promise I won't sing. Won't sing. Well, you got to do what you got to do. So what are we doing today? In 1 minute and 20 seconds, we will go Safety Dog Live, the secrets of Safety Dog. If you are joining me, let me, hopefully you can give me a little note, say hi, tell me where you're from, that type of, the regular kind of BS stuff. But we are changing, or I say we, I am changing the format of the Dog Speaks a little bit, and because I want to give you more content, more actual good stuff, staying with the thought of secrets. So, as I say, we will get going in just 30 seconds or so. But I do want to change the format a little bit, give you more oomph or more bang for your buck, if you would. All right, I'm going to, excuse me, that's not very nice. I'm glad we aren't actually live yet, because we go live at 1 o'clock, which it is about 1 o'clock right at the moment. So as you can see here, we are going to go live in just a second. So welcome to the Secrets of Safety Dog. This is November the 16th, I believe. And we're still fighting COVID and all that kind of stuff. But as I said, I want to change the format just a little bit of what we're doing. And what am I doing? Let me just change here to share my screen. So yeah, how to prepare for a CVR audit. That's what we're going to be talking about largely today in our 15 or so minutes. So let me just play the introduction here. See if I can get my head out of the way. See, the secrets of Safety Dog. And we are going to go live in just 1 second. It is November the 16th. We try to go live every Monday at 1 o'clock on Facebook, and then on I post it onto YouTube a little bit later. So what are we doing? As soon as I can take back my screen, there we go. All right, so today, just a little shout out. Don't forget that we have our virtual truck driver meeting set for November the 27th and 28th. If your company hasn't registered yet, I would suggest that you do so as soon as practical. Reach out to Kim Steisma-Hill at 1-800-771-8171. Kim's got all the details, and register today. So the news, the new format, I'm going to pick one news topic, if it's worthy, to include on this broadcast, and then we're going to get into the meat. And the meat this week is how to prepare for a CVOR audit. So if you're from Ontario, how to prepare for an audit. So with that, let me just switch over to the news. And I just want to show you this one article here this week. As you can see here, a commercial driver receives over $3,000 in fines. And this happened, yes, by the RCMP just outside of Edmonton. And as the story goes, the vehicle, the RCMP stops this driver. The investigator said the inspection was completed on one semi-trailer carrying lumber, and it was deemed to be violating the weight on the drive axles. So they put the driver out of service. The 27-year-old from Ontario was issued a ticket. The RCMP said the driver was not allowed to leave the scale until the load was adjusted and in compliance. I guess the driver figured he had a delivery that was more important than safety and didn't heed the warnings, as it says, leaves the scale. And so he got pulled over by the RCMP and issued 2 more tickets for a total of 3,287 big ones. My goodness. So, not what I'd like you to do, believe me. Not what I would like you to do at all. So, I think that was pretty noteworthy. Stupid driver, at least what I believe was a stupid driver, overweight on the drives, doesn't know what to do. I don't know if they called their employer or not, decided to leave the scale and then gets caught again. What the heck? Anyways, so I thought that was pretty newsworthy. That's the RCMP enforcing the load securement laws. The secret, how to prepare for a CVOR audit. This is really important, and as you may or may not know, there are 3 major components to the audit. When MTO comes in to your facility, there are 3 main components. The first one is the maintenance of your equipment. And then we get into the QR&R. If you don't know what that is, you'll have to stay tuned till next week because I'll cover QR&R there. And then the hours of service. So those are the 3 components: maintenance, QR&R, and the hours of service. This week we are going to talk about maintenance briefly. And as always, if you have any questions, please reach out. I've included my email in the notes there. So send me an email and tell me what your question is, and I'd love to address it. So maintenance. Maintenance, first of all, please, you need to have a preventative maintenance statement. Dramatic pause for effect. You need to have a dramatic pause to make sure that you heard that. You need a statement. And the statement should be written in either kilometers or in time. So what do I mean? For your tractors or your trucks, with anything with an odometer reading, I really prefer the statement be in kilometers. That's a preference. It's not required by law. You do need a statement saying that every blank, I do blank. So every so many kilometers, I will inspect my vehicle. And here, this is a sample attachment of what I'm inspecting for. All right, so you need a statement saying that every period of time or every so many kilometers, I'm going to inspect my units. And at the very minimum, of course, it's annually. The MTO prefers that you have something much more frequent. So, and it could be for trailers, you would probably put down a number of days, for instance, 90 days. However, please remember the key component to this is that you never exceed what you put in writing. So if you say I do an inspection every 20,000 kilometers, do not go 20,001 kilometers. That's good for a ticket. You can go 15,000 and do the inspection. You can always do it more frequently, but you cannot do it less frequently. If you do it less frequently, that is good for a ticket. All right, so maintenance. After the maintenance statement, you've got 4 major parts of the audit when it comes to the maintenance. The first part is DR&R. So DR&R, detection, reporting, and repair. Detection, reporting, and repair. And this is largely your drivers doing their daily vehicle inspection reports, reporting the defects to you, and then you repairing it on time. And remember, on time for minor violations, it's before the next dispatch. And for any major violations, of course, it is immediately, because your truck, if the driver finds a major violation, your truck is placed out of service. So before the next dispatch for minors and majors, of course, you're out of service. The key there is that you must have a Schedule 1. And the Schedule 1 tells you what is a minor and a major defect. So that's detection, reporting, and repair very quickly. Preventative maintenance, you want to be doing it on a regular basis. So they're going to come in and they're going to audit your maintenance files to make sure that you are adhering to your statement. Remember the statement at the beginning? Well, they're going to audit you now to make sure that you are adhering to whatever you said in that statement. So that's the second piece. The third piece, of course, is that you actually do your annuals and you have proof in the file. Yes, you need to have maintenance files. So you've got to have proof in the file. So that little piece of paper, one day I'm going to measure it so I can accurately say it's approximately 6 inches by 4 inches, I think. But one day I should measure one. And you keep one piece of that. You are given to when the inspection happens by the garage, and it must be obviously a licensed garage. And they give you 2 pieces, one for your maintenance file and one to go in the cab of the truck, right? So you want to have that at the front of the file is where I like it. Of course, it just needs to be in the file as long as you can put it into the officer's hand during the audit. That's what's important. And then lastly, all the records, all the invoices, all the maintenance for your vehicle. All right, so let me just go back over that real quick. So for the maintenance, you need a maintenance statement. And then you want the kilometers or the time. And there are 4 major parts to that. I should hit play again, shouldn't I? Just so it looks nicer. All right, so you need a maintenance statement. It should be in kilometers or in time, like days or months or something. Then in the maintenance, you got detection, reporting, and repair. Excuse me. Detection, reporting, and repair. The preventative maintenance, they're going to audit you according to your statement. And then you got to make sure you have your annuals and then all of the records. You need your ownership and all that kind of stuff all put in there. If you've got any questions, please reach out to the Safety Dog, and I'd be happy, very happy to help you. With that, let me go back to here. All right, put myself back into my office. Obviously you, or perhaps not, hopefully you all know that I green screen. My office is not quite so pretty, but I do some green screen. So with that, this week we talked about how to prepare for an MTO audit, and we talked about the maintenance. Next week we will be talking about the driver part, and then the following week we'll talk about hours of service. So we've got 3 parts coming up. Today was maintenance, next week's DQR&R, and then the 3rd week will be hours of service, how to prepare for an MTO audit. So that's what you can look for. Next Monday, 1 p.m., we'll be back on Facebook, and then shortly after posting it to YouTube. That's it for this week. A Safety Dog is out.